In the final days of World War II, Japan's skies filled with fire. Young men turned their planes into weapons, willing to die for their emperor. These were the Kamikaze, Japan's last desperate hope for victory. It was October 1944 when Japan's war leaders realized defeat was near. American forces were advancing toward the Philippines, and Japan's navy was crumbling. In desperation, Vice Admiral Takejiro Onishi proposed an unthinkable plan: to use human pilots as guided missiles. The word kamikaze means divine wind. It symbolized the legendary storms that once saved Japan from Mongol invasion. Now, it would describe men who would sacrifice themselves to protect their homeland. At first, there were no orders, only volunteers. Hundreds of young men stepped forward, writing farewell letters to their families. Many were barely 18 or 19 years old. They believed dying for Japan was the greatest honor a man could achieve. Training was harsh and emotional. Pilots practiced takeoffs, but not landings. Every mission was a one-way flight, a path to eternity. Each kamikaze pilot received a white scarf, a ceremonial cup of sake, and a small headband marked with the rising sun. They climbed into their planes, often old and poorly armed, their hearts filled with fear and pride. On board, they carried letters, poems, and sometimes a photo of their loved ones. Then, one by one, they took off toward enemy ships. Their final target, American aircraft carriers and destroyers. From the sky, they came like arrows of flame, crashing into steel and fire. In total, more than 3,800 kamikaze pilots died in these missions. They sank over 30 ships and damaged hundreds more. To the Allies, they were fanatics. But to Japan, they were heroes, symbols of loyalty and sacrifice. After Japan's surrender in 1945, the surviving kamikaze pilots lived with guilt and grief. Many spoke of the emptiness of their mission, how they were forced to choose between death and dishonor. Today, kamikaze pilots are remembered with both sorrow and respect. Their letters reveal not madness, but humanity, a painful reminder of how war turns devotion into tragedy. They flew not because they hated the enemy, but because they loved their homeland too much to let it fall. In the end, the kamikaze were not monsters. They were young men caught in an impossible choice. Their courage and sacrifice remind us that even in war's darkest hour, humanity endures. If this story touched you, like this video and subscribe to WWII Chronicles, where history comes alive through the true stories of bravery, loyalty, and loss. Watch our next episode, The Fall of Berlin, the last battle of Hitler's empire. This was WWII Chronicles, bringing the past to life, one story at a time.